What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, it's the end of the week wrap up. I've been spending my morning looking at charts like I do every single morning, and I've got a few things that have me pretty excited because I've noticed some interesting moves happening over there with Grayscale. I'm noticing some interesting things happening over here on the charts, and I wanted to share the things that I'm seeing here that have me pretty worked up, pretty excited. Fortunately, I've been kind of sticking to the same idea that, you know what, this is just consolidation before we do break up much higher. I've kept pointing back to previous charts and really using the XRP price chart as a reference point to show what happens when we have these really lower consolidation periods and what these structures look like over my last videos. How we have these two kind of bumps and you have sideways and then you finally have your capitulation, which comes just below that previous low. Then it recovers, consolidates, goes sideways, and then off goes the breakout. This is really important because we've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and I'm going to show you why it's important in this video. Because I've been showing on all kinds of charts. Here's Ethereum. You have the same thing, right? You have the two bounces, the sideways, and then the capitulation moment that comes down just below that previous low, like we saw with XRP back in here. While this was just a pit stop in the bull run as it kept on going, we saw this over here in the total market cap, capitulation just below the low, recovering. And we've even seen that over here on XRP. Two bounces, sideways, capitulation, that's the end, taking out the low. And that my belief system has been that this is nothing more than a pit stop before we end up continuing to surge higher as the total market cap pinpoint precise nailed that 4.236 extension based on the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulating back in 2018. And then in each of our examples, we have where it does break out and go even higher. So that's been my global view of what I think is happening in the cryptocurrency market. But a really great reference point has been this XRP price chart and what happened, because what we noticed happening here in Bitcoin, happening here in cryptocurrency is that when we have these big crashes like this, if we're going into an ABC correction and this thing's going to fall apart, we'll usually get an ABC starting with a retracement back to the 618 price level. So we'll usually see the price come up here, you'll see the price fall down again, retrace back up to the 702 retracement level or the 786 retracement level. And guess what? That's the end. That was the end of the cryptocurrency bull run. Game over. But that's not what happened. We saw that the prices all did the same thing, where they all stayed very low during this entire time period since May, and have had this exact same setup that happened back in here for XRP, and that it's all showing similar signs of what we just do before this bull run just keeps on rampaging even longer. And as Michael Arrington tweeted, similar to keeping the beach ball underwater and keeping it really low. Now, over the last couple of days, I've noticed a couple of things going on with the big players in this space. If you haven't noticed, Elon Musk has suddenly started talking about Dogecoin again. He's been silent about Dogecoin for quite a while, but suddenly he's starting to talk about it again. Now, I'm not alluding to whether or not there's any really serious gains that can be made in Dogecoin, but the behavior has changed. He's suddenly starting to ramp up the memes again and starting to talk about Dogecoin again. We've seen that today, last night, and yesterday multiple times. Now, I'm not sitting here saying anything great about Dogecoin. I don't own any Dogecoin. I don't believe in Dogecoin. To each their own. Everybody's got their own investment portfolio. Doge is not included in mine. But it is interesting that he kind of went through this super long period of silence about it, and then now suddenly he's kind of turning it back on. And well, if you know who Barry Silbert is, he's the founder and CEO of Digital Currency Group, which is the parent company of Grayscale. Barry's been kind of interesting on Twitter over the last several weeks because he's been kind of negative about cryptocurrency, even though he owns Grayscale, right? And well, he wasn't really wrong, but we've seen a really big tame down in the negative sentiment, negative things said from Barry Silbert over the last week or two. And this morning, Grayscale tweeted, "Welcome aboard, Cardano. We have adjusted the portfolio of Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund to now include ADA." They also said, "We adjusted the portfolio of Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund by selling certain amounts of the existing fund components in proportion to their respective weightings and using the cash proceeds to purchase Cardano. This table shows the fund's weightings as of July 2nd, 2021. This is very interesting to me because if you notice this, Cardano way up here, heavily weighted in this portfolio, massively outweighing Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Chainlink combined, going from not even being in the fund to being more exposed than Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Chainlink together. That's interesting. Grayscale is over here making moves, adding assets that they think are going to be performing well, I would presume. And while ADA had a little pop this morning, nothing significant, nothing life-changing, only up, 1.8% right now. But something interesting is going on here, right? So it gets my wheels turning heavily when I start seeing that they're saying, like, they're making moves, they're making adjustments, they're adding things, and they're going after this asset, right? So I say to myself, well, I know that Barry Silbert looks at charts. I know that he's staring at that stuff. What is he seeing over here? Are we nearing the end of all of this correction stuff and it's time for this market to continue rampaging to the upside? And I say, well, what have I continuously kept going back to in my thought process of what's happening in this market? My idea is that the total market cap of all of crypto will break into new all-time highs, and that all of this consolidation that we're having is similar to what we saw with XRP mid-phase of the bull run, where there was this big pit stop, knocks back 60%, low consolidation, and then eventually it breaks back up and keeps on rampaging. And then I kind of recognized what was going on here on the ADA chart. Notice how we have the same structure happening in here. You have the two bounces with the sideways and then your capitulation. But then what occurs right up in here? We come back up after that capitulative moment and we're getting stopped out right here. But we're building higher lows each time, coming in and consolidating sideways after hitting it one time, two times, now consolidating underneath of it. What happened with XRP during that moment, right? The two bounces, the sideways consolidation, the capitulative moment, and then afterwards, rising back up, pulling back with higher lows, and then consolidating underneath it with 1, 2. Same thing goes for ADA. We have the same thing happening in here. And at this moment in time, Grayscale is adding ADA in a heavy way to their fund. There's only 6 assets in there, and the amount of ADA they added is bigger than the number 4, 5, and 6 combined. And I probably should have done this earlier, but if you don't know what ADA is, it's Cardano, and it's the 5th largest cryptocurrency in the cryptocurrency market. And we rarely talk about ADA on this channel, but I do own ADA. And I think a clue just got released by Barry Silbert and Grayscale here with this. And all of this and the exact setup that ADA has matches what we've been talking about on this channel for the last several weeks. That we're right there at that moment. Really, I was unsure if we were even that close to that moment, but you can clearly see it here on ADA. It's just like ticks away. It's just within a matter of a few days away from that beginning. And let me be clear here. I'm not sitting here saying that go out and buy ADA. When I got into ADA, I got in on it at 3 cents. That's not to brag. What I'm saying is it's now $1.35. The price has already risen significantly. The big massive bull run of gains has already happened for ADA. Will it go higher? It sure looks like it's going to go higher. But for the most part, the big mega bull run of ADA happened from 2 cents to $2. I don't think we'll see that type of percentage rise again. And after something has already done that big of a rise, it makes me insanely nervous to consider buying something like that. But what's very apparent here on this chart is the phase at which and how clearly it's printing what's happening here. And that these guys, for some reason, have decided right now is a really great move to load up on that into the large fund. But if there's one thing I know about this market, it's that these things don't just go by themselves. If the market is bullish, everything gets going. And so this isn't here to make a, hey, let's FOMO into ADA. This is a broader perspective view to say, look, the market is setting up. The market has had enough time to go through all of this. Because it's not just on ADA that we've had this structure of the large fall and then the big comeback down capitulative moment back here with, the exact same structure. All these charts are showing the same structures, right? The difference is ADA is printing it incredibly clean here. And Grayscale just made this huge announcement, right? Why are they making a huge announcement? Because they're done accumulating it, right? They've done accumulating it. Now they're like, hey, everybody, come buy it. We didn't tell you that we were accumulating it and that we were doing it, but now we're all done. We're all done accumulating. Come on in, general public. But these are the types of things that go through my mind when I see stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that makes me really excited. Seeing that setup just like that on something that we've been talking about for several weeks at this point, and seeing that this guy has calmed down on the bearish negative stuff, just made an announcement of a big move on a chart that looks primed and ready to go after this consolidation right in here finishes. And for some strange reason or another, this guy has come back and started doing his Doge meme stuff all over again after stopping it for a long time. And that I'm still just as bullish as ever. And I couldn't be more convinced that the bottom of this market is already in. Even when we look at a corrective structure, XRP has it real clear here happening from back in early April of what a completed corrective structure looks like. So this is over the course of what, 2 months right here for XRP. We can even look at Bitcoin's entire bear market that it had from back in 2013, 14, and 15 and show what a full corrective structure looks like. And that you can see this is how corrections end. We have all the same aspects of the same correction. You can see there's the two things that we're talking about, right? We keep talking about two bounces, right? Two bounces sideways. There's your capitulative ending. There's your two bounces, your sideways, and your capitulative ending. All the while right underneath the most recent low that was set, right? Same structure up in here. And that even on large scale time frames, we can see these things compressed into short-term time frames. And we all know what this ended up doing and going absolutely nuts afterwards. So my belief still stands that the market will set new all-time highs once again. I'm excited to see this playing out over here on ADA, giving us kind of a glimpse into what's happening with the market, with these guys suddenly turning their bullish narratives back on, and Grayscale deciding this is a critical opportunity to be making big moves and telling us that they were accumulating, right? So it's not them telling, hey, we're going to start accumulating. It's them thinking this was the opportunity to do it, and they've already done it, and they're now letting us know. And so today is one of the days where I'm more excited than I've been in quite a while. And it's not because I own ADA. If ADA went to $30 a piece, I would still have a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done on the rest of my portfolio. It does not represent a big enough piece of my pie to where I could just say, that's it, I'm done, I'm out of here, man. I wish it did. But I'm excited to see the structures setting up, and I'm excited to see the people who really do a lot behind the curtains, like Grayscale, seeing them making some moves and seeing what the charts look like on the stuff that they're making the moves on. It all looks really exciting to me, and I'm hoping we actually have a really good weekend in the next couple of days. Of course, we've been saying that for weeks now, so it comes like a broken record at that point. But I really, truly am more excited today with what I'm seeing in this market than I have been in weeks. So I look forward to what the weekend has to offer and what next week has to offer us too. And so I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Here in the United States, it's Independence Day this weekend, so I have family coming in from out of town today. It won't be available throughout the weekend, but you better believe I'll have my eyes glued to the charts over there on my cell phone. And I, of course, always have access to Twitter. So I'll go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you're looking for something to do throughout the weekend, you can check out my website. This is my course, which is bcbacker.com. It's where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the previous altcoin market cycles, showing how they've all worked together in the past, what phases of market cycles the altcoins have gone nuts in. I talk about my personal exit plans in here and mathematics and percentages, teaching you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. I also did add a market update in here just a couple of days ago to talk about what occurred in the markets throughout June, just to kind of give a quick recap. And you can check out all this educational content here over on bcbacker.com. Again, like I said, I will be available on Twitter throughout the weekend, and you can follow me here at bcbacker. I'm sure I will be smoking meats again this weekend, so maybe you'll get some updates on that. Maybe we'll have some charts, but most likely 4th of July meats. But if the market goes ham, pun, I'm sure I'll be posting stuff. But all right, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.